Hello, family. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing well today. Let's talk about it. Tiffany Henyard and Christopher Clark has been disregarding the rules in Harvey, Illinois, and the township of Illinois. And the DOJ, Department of Justice, has requested some things. Yeah, and let's see if Christopher Clark will follow the rules that the DOJ, Department of Justice, has requested. And then we will talk about Shanquella's quiet updates. Yeah, I have some things to say about that. Cardi B is on trial this week. Shiloh Sanders was cut from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That situation smells like skunk meat to me. I'm sorry. And Jarvis here, Butts, he is asking for a dismissal. Why is that? Oh, y'all know we got a lot to talk about today. Y'all already know what we have to do for the ones in the back. This video is under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Acts in 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Yes, fair use. All rights and credits go directly to its rightful owner. This video is purely for fair use, opinion, and entertainment. Enjoy. And we also want to add that everything in this video is alleged. Yes. Shout out to everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber already. Also, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. It's a great way to push the video out. Thank you all so much. Sometimes I know people forget. Just come back, hit the like button, and then, go back out. And for our old subscribers, new subscribers, we just want to say thank you all so much. Thank you for your support. We say it all the time. We have to say it all the time, because if it wasn't for you all, Cafe of Knowledge wouldn't even be possible. So just thank you so much from the bottom of our heart, okay? And shout out to our moderators as well. Awesome moderators. Thank you to the replay gang. Thank you to the people in the comment section that leaves a comment. Thank you so much. Now, before I start with these two, I want to do a moment of silence for the students and the staff in Minneapolis at the Catholic school where a man ran in there. And, well, he didn't get inside of it. They said that he was pow-powing through the windows in the parking lot and things like that. And you have some students and some staff who have fell to their demise due to his evilness. The Catholic school was from grade kindergarten to 8th grade. Our condolences to the family from the Cafe of Knowledge family who lost their loved ones in this tragic school incident. So I just want to do a moment of silence, prayers in the chat, hearts in the chat, flowers in the chat. Let's take a moment of silence, please. Okay. Our condolences to the city over there in Minneapolis. Now, let's start on this Hen and Christopher Clark. Because, family, let me tell y'all, we got a lot of tea up in here today. Let's talk about how Christopher Clark and Tiffany Henyard and some others have stunk up the joint so bad until the Department of Justice is making public announcements about FOIA training. And a lot of this comes from these two right here. Tiffany is out of office now, but she was good at ignoring FOIAs that was coming from people and coming from the residents and things like that. Oh, she just act like FOIAs just didn't matter. Christopher Clark is the same way. He down there stinking up the joint still. And he ignores FOIAs too. Him and his administration. Tiffany and her administration did it. But Clark still continues to do it. So see, it's given that a lot of these mayors throughout the United States and other branches that works in the government will get FOIAs and act like they don't exist, like they don't have to answer it. They will rather have their city be sued before they answer FOIAs. And that's not the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. Homie the clown with that bow tie on, that is not the way it goes. Now, let's check it out. Because, see, these two are not the only ones stinking up the joint. But you could tell this is a trend. Because usually the Department of Justice will probably send a letter to local government's office and tell them, hey, we got these training going on, and we would like for y'all to participate. But we noticed that the Department of Justice made this thing public and letting the world know that, hey, we have FOIA trainings for knuckleheads that don't like to comply. And that is against our federal rules to not reply. Yeah, so, yes. The Department of Justice put this out. As y'all see, it says August 25th, 2025, okay? And they are starting their training for FOIA for the 2026 season, okay? So it's given that they don't want to hear no more of this here. Oh, I didn't know that we had a time limit. Oh, I didn't know I had to answer it. Oh, well, I didn't know that part. Oh, see, when they get caught up in the stank and the feds come after them, then they start making up excuses about how they didn't know how FOIAs work, even though they are running a city. Yeah, you can tell they tired of it. So, as y'all see, these courses are designed to offer training opportunities for personnel from all stages of the FOIA workforce, from new hires to the experienced FOIA professionals or FOIA managers. OIP will continue to offer virtual training sessions that will be taught in real time by OIP instructors. We will announce more training opportunities for the spring and summer at a later date. As fiscal year 2026 quickly approaches, we are excited to announce our upcoming virtual training classes and courses. You can find these courses listed on OIP training page. Yes. You can find them there, y'all. You can find them there because these are the main ones who be ignoring FOIAs. Why is that? Well, see, it's given to me that the feds are basically tired of people trying to use excuses about they didn't know and all this stuff right here. And so they making sure that we all know, the public, that they do have training for FOIA. So whether these people take advantage of the training or not, they will still be held accountable if they violate the FOIA laws. Christopher Clark, because you still doing it. Yes. And the other ones on this screen have a history of doing it as well. And will ignore it until they get a plump lawsuit because they don't want to answer it. And you know, most of the time when people don't want to answer FOIAs, it's because it's some stank in there. It's some skunk meat in the paperwork. It's some skunk meat going on. And they don't want to answer it. So they kind of put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off because they know something stinks in the pudding. Basically, that's what it's given. And Christopher Clark and his administration down there in Harvey are breaking all kind of FOIA laws. And breaking resident laws too, may I add. Christopher Clark need to be the first one in line to take this FOIA training course. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Just stinking up the joint. It smells like pure D skunk meat down there in Harvey. I'm sorry. Well, the Department of Justice said the training is need to contact them quick, fast, and in a hurry. Yes, because it's given that these female and male backyard bumpkins are trying to act like they don't know all about the FOIA rules so they can escape accountability. Well, we all know now in the public that they do get training for this. And their training, they need to sign up right now. So if you have a skunk meat mayor who just stinking up the joint, you might want to ask them at the next meeting, are you taking that FOIA course? Because you really need it. Because see, when we send in FOIAs, we notice that they be ignored for a very, 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 very long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, it says, is it possible to know the exact number of mayors ignoring the FOIA request because there is no comprehensive national database tracking every instance of a mayor or city office failing to comply? These are general, local, state level issues that are only reported when they become the subject of news investigations or lawsuits. So see, the only way that we be knowing that some of these here mayors throughout the United States, some, not all, ignore the FOIAs, the only way we be knowing it is if the news report on it or if a lawsuit is dropped down on it. Like we know about Tiffany Henyard. Mm-hmm. Christopher Clark too. Mm-hmm. Fannie Willis too. Mm-hmm. And that Karen Bass over there in LA, her too. Mm-hmm. Well, see, we know these things when it hits the news media. And then we know that they are basically intentionally, them and their administration are ignoring FOIAs. But however, reports from watchdog groups and news organizations show that the problem of officials ignoring or delaying public records requests is widespread. Yes, it is. It's widespread. So now we know that the Department of Justice has said and requests, hey, look here, y'all got a FOIA class going on right now. You better take advantage of it because, see, it's given that the feds are tired of people making excuses when they get hemmed up by the feds, talking about they don't know all the rules to the FOIA regulations. So as y'all will see, Maysville, South Carolina, they had a problem with the mayor and officials were sued for ignoring a public records request for a year and a half. A judge ordered the release of the documents, okay? And then you had in New York City, ignoring it over there in Albany and under Mayor Adams, under him. But he ignored it too. He ignored FOIAs, and then it took him about 283 days to fork up a FOIA request. What? That's almost a year. Then you will see in Seattle, Washington, it was the same thing. Detailed struggle with government transparency in both cities, and they took 129 days to fulfill a FOIA request. Then you'll see down there, Arkansas. They took a long time replying to FOIAs. Little Rock, Arkansas, same thing. Took a long time, delays on documents that was requested in FOIAs. But as y'all see, it says border contacts on FOIA issues. Not just mayors have this type problem. While mayors are sometimes involved, the non-compliance is often an institutional issue affecting entire city office and agencies. For example, in New York City, the Department of Corrections was even slower than the mayor's office in responding to record requests. So see, this is becoming a trend, and it's getting to be a bad trend. And to the public, when city officials like that ignore FOIAs, it's automatically a red flag to us. Because if it's not nothing going on, come on now, you can have it too. You can answer that request within 4 to 6 weeks, tops. If it ain't no stink going on. But see, when there's some stink going on, they tend to hold on to it. Hope that you forgot that you sent in a FOIA. And when they realize you didn't forget because you keep sending in and keep sending in and keep sending in, they keep ignoring it until it becomes almost a year. 6 months to a year, and you still don't get no answer. Then that's when people have to go down there and drop lawsuits saying, hey, look, they won't comply with the FOIA. Even with lawsuits, they still be holding on to the FOIA until a judge say, hey, give up the FOIA request these people are asking for. So they would rather spend money out of the taxpayers' dollars going to court to fight for giving up a FOIA, just wasting taxpayers' dollars doing that, instead of just doing it the way it's supposed to be. Send it in to them, whatever they request for. Well, that's what I had to tell y'all about that. And basically, all that stuff coming from Tiffany and Christopher Clark, people like them and them, stinking up the joint when it comes to FOIAs. Yes, stinking up the joint when it comes to FOIAs. Next, let's talk about this, family, because I want to talk about Shanquella Robinson, because the updates are quiet. And we need to talk about that, because we all know that these 6 on the screen deleted Shanquella. It was on video, okay? That Dejanay was the main aggressor right here. And then you had Elise Hyatt went to Donovan. Then you had Malik. And then you had Khalil. Then you had Nizer. They all was on this trip, hiding, obstruction of justice, just cleaning up the crime scene and all that stuff. And this one right here was the main attacker, Dejanay Jackson, a.k.a. Amani Green, which she got more AKAs than that. I showed y'all that in Tracking Dejanay, if you want to go back and check that video out, okay? But the thing is that they was on video, and they was laughing, and they was kikiing, while this one here was attacking Shanquella. Oh, it was a kiki, ha-ha moment for these 6 right here. And Dejanay, get up, Get up, pop your mess. Get up, as she wailing and just terribly doing Shanquella wrong, okay? And Shanquella fell to her demise after this day right here with this backyard Barbie, Dejanay Jackson jumping on her, okay? And then slung her down by her upper part of the neck, and that was the wrap right there. That was the wrap. We seen that for ourselves. That was the wrap, okay? All that was on the video. Shanquella didn't even move no more, okay? Now, what happened after that, we don't know, but the autopsy shows a lot that happened during and after that, okay? Because a lot of things that the autopsy show, we didn't see it happening on video. But my thing is, the updates, the silent, quiet updates that we have been getting. We'll get a little piece of here. It's like somebody would open up the door, throw a little piece of update, then slam the door back and don't say nothing else. Then they'll wait about a month or two, or 5 to 6 months, open up the door, throw just a little bit of an update, slam the door back, close it, don't say nothing. Well, see, in a case like this, Shanquella don't need that. She don't need all this. We want justice, but we got to be quiet about the justice. See, her case started off loud. It should continue to be loud. It should continue to be loud until Shanquella gets the justice that she well deserves, okay? It should continue to be loud to make sure that these here 6 backyard Barbies and Kens do not get off on the trifling deletion they did upon Shanquella Robinson. It should be so loud that these 6 don't get off of this civil lawsuit. Now, the judge already has dismissed the DOJs from the civil lawsuit. But you damn sure don't want them, him, her, whatever, to dismiss Shanquella's civil lawsuit against the Capo 6. That's what you don't need. But I just noticed it's just been a quiet update. And we give y'all what we have and what we see and what we keep searching for. But it's too quiet. Especially when the judge is saying he is weighing rather to have Cabo 6 civil trial go on in the United States. It's too quiet. Because it's taken that judge a pretty long time. And according to the autopsy, Shanquella was done up bad. All in the head, all in the head, all in the side, all in the bottom part of our private time, and then all in the back, all just everywhere. And she fell to her demise. And the thing about it is, here recently, Dejanay Jackson, a.k.a. Amani Green, has admitted that she put hands on Shanquella because she's claiming self-defense. So that was a big winner right there. That finally this girl has come out and said, oh, it was self-defense, meaning that she did put hands on Shanquella. That was a big break, and that should be something that should be loud regarding Shanquella case. But see, the public can't be loud if the family ain't loud. We can only report on what we see, and that's it. But oh boy, was that a newsbreaker to me, my opinion, that Dejanay finally has admitted, one of the Cabo 6 has finally admitted putting hands on Shanquella. Because she hollers self-defense. So my thing is, it should have my opinion, because it took so long, because the Cowboy Six had been saying for over 2 years, oh, it was alcohol. It was alcohol. Even on some of the Cowboy Six reply to the civil case, is saying, oh, we ain't had nothing to do with that. She just drunk too much. She just had too much to drink. She just this, that. Nothing about putting hands on. And then Dejanay comes out and say, self-defense. That was a newsbreaker. My opinion, if it was my child, I would have ran to the news so quick and said, finally, one of the Cowboy Six has admitted putting hands on my child after they have lied for over 2 years. The other ones say they don't know nothing about it. They ain't got nothing to do with it. They wasn't involved in it. They don't know what we're talking about. She just got drunk and she just fell over and passed away. Even with the video, they were still denying being involved in Shanquella's deletion. And finally, Dejanay comes out and saying she can't take that back. Finally, she comes out and say, self-defense, which means she put hands on Shanquella. Do you know how me as a mother, that's just my opinion and that's just my spunk, that I would be all over the news media talking about, hey, I understand that the judge is weighing whether to charge this Cowboy Six or have this civil case go on in the United States or in Mexico. But hey, we got a breakthrough. And it shows that this woman put hands on my child, and them bringing her suitcase back on United States soil, lying to my face, telling me alcohol poisoning puts them in a position that they was over here in the United States obstructing justice by lying to me, bringing me my daughter's suitcase with belongings in it, which could have been a hell of a lot of evidence that we could have used. I don't know if they washed the clothes, soaked the clothes, what they did. I don't even know if this all her clothes. They was tampering and obstructing justice from Mexico all the way down here on the United States soil. So, Judge, please do not allow this civil case to go back to Mexico when they clearly have obstructed justice in the United States on United States soil. And then this girl has said right here on United States soil, self-defense. But you see how I just explained that, family? And the silence for Shanquella's updates and the quietness of Shanquella's updates need to be more spunk. And I've said that before when I was covering Shanquella's case. But you can't tell no family how they need to do things. I just report on things and I tell my opinion and how I feel about the matter. Rather, what I feel is wrong or right, it's just my opinion. Yeah. Then you see Amani Green. She was ducking and hiding, shucking and jiving the whole time, trying to say, oh, they was looking for Dejanay Jackson. I ain't Dejanay Jackson. I'm Amani Green. Yes, you is. You the same person. Stop playing in the people's face. See, that's what happens when sometimes this happens, family, when a family is very quiet. The evil people who have done something to their family feel like they got the upper hand, so then they start playing in your face. They start playing in your face real hard. And as you see, damn near playing in the judge's face, you know? Because you got some writing letters to the judge talking about, oh, that girl died of alcohol poisoning. We ain't had nothing to do with that. And then you have one tell the judge self-defense. So that lets you know right there something went on. You know? You got all of them playing in the face. See, they done got bold now, and they want to play in people's face. Just like how they did Shanquella down there in Cabo, Mexico. Played in her face. Made her think she was all good to travel with them. Or she thought she was going with her best friend, Khalil Cook. Turns out that was a no-go. And then Cafe of Knowledge broke the exclusive news of why Shanquella had a monkey wrench in her case. Because Khalil Cook family is related to Sandra J. Harrison family, and she's the DOJ at that time. And her family is related to Khalil Cook family. And then you finally get a Cowboy 6 to say self-defense. That should be rocking all over the news. I, as a parent, would be on every news station actually telling how this person came to my house. Because Dejanay came to the mother's house with Shanquella's belongings and told Shanquella mother that, oh, we don't know what happened. No, it wasn't no fight or anything. She just drunk too much. She just passed the alcohol poisoning. And then her mother was like, oh, man. And then these backyard Kens and Barbies sitting in Shanquella mother's house, then tell Shanquella mother, we going to pick out a nice color and we all going to wear it to her funeral. This was before the tape came out, the video. And then when the video came out, then they ducking and hiding, shucking and jiving. Couldn't find them no more. Played in Shanquella mother face. See, when you play in my face like that, I'm going to have to keep putting you on blast. I'm going to have to. But now, Shanquella mother and family, they are doing a good job, and whoever is representing them are doing a okay job by keep pressuring this silver suit. I'm just saying it should be a little bit louder, my opinion. Whether you like my opinion or not, it does not hurt to try. I don't feel it will hurt the case when you have a lot of exposure on the case like this. And as y'all see, Dejanay Jackson, when they was looking for her, they had a private investigator conduct surveillance at a Hartford, Connecticut address. Remember, I told y'all that too. Go back to Tracking Dejanay video I did. I told everybody where Dejanay Connecticut address was. Her Hartford address. I told them way over a year ago where it was. She got about 3 of them over there in Connecticut. She got about 3 addresses over there in Jamaica. Overseas. Yes. And she got a couple of addresses in North Carolina. But they did put out surveillance for her when they was trying to serve her, and they couldn't spot her. They said they spotted Dejanay's car at that address, but they never saw her enter or exit the home. But they still had got her anyway. They served her anyway. But I'm just telling you how they play in your face. See, these type right here, these type of evil people right here, you got to keep them in the spotlight. You got to keep on talking to the news. You got to keep on bringing it up. You got to keep on. You know, because sometimes when cases get quiet, people think that you have forgot. And then sometimes they feel like, hey, a decision to come down that will break your heart. And then some people will be saying, I should have did this. I should have fought harder for this. I fought as hard as I could, but it didn't work. And then you realize you could have did a little bit more or whatever, but it's too late. That's all I'm saying. And don't try to say I'm dogging the family or none of that. I'm saying this is just the perfect time to keep this right here in the media that finally Dejanay has admitted putting hands on Shanquella, and she sat in that mother's house and told that lie that nothing went on, and she had Shanquella belongings. So the same person who deleted Shanquella brought the evidence back to the United States soil. Oh boy, if I wouldn't make a big scene about that and say, and I'm hoping the judge does not dismiss this here civil case against these 6, because obviously they know more than what they saying. And I don't care nothing about, they requesting that they speak to each Cowboy 6 to see what their stories are. Hey, all you got to do is look at the video. We know what their stories are. Now, what you can do is subpoena them to court and make them tell their stories sitting up there on that courtroom chair under oath. That's when you find out their stories. When you make them see you're not playing with them. Now, I don't want to hear your stories individually right now without you being in that courtroom under oath. Because, see, I'm finna make some noise so that it's going to be hard for this civil suit to be dismissed. And then I'm going to bring you up on that stand. And you're going to tell exactly what happened under oath. Because, see, these type of evil 6 right here, these evil backyard Kens and Barbies, they think they slick. Just demonic souls. But anyway, family, June 10th, Cowboy 6, Dejanay Jackson, a.k.a. Imani Green, claimed self-defense. There it is right there. Yeah. There it is right there. All good. Yeah. So, it got May 14th, 2025. After Shanquella Robinson passed away, Mexican authorities told the family that whatever. But you see at the top it says, Judge weighs whether Shanquella Robinson wrongful demise case should be continued in the United States. So they wrote this in May, and here it is August. May, June, July, August. 3 months. Now, at first, we said, okay, the judge is weighing on whether he should let this civil case continue in the United States or in Mexico. He could just dismiss it and say, nah, y'all take that back to Mexico. And we was given time because 2 months later, last month, we did an update on Shanquella and we said, hey, okay, we're going to, the judge is probably looking at each individual one and is probably trying to make a decision on who to dismiss off this civil case and who to keep on the civil case, or is he going to keep all 6 of them on the civil case, or is he going to let the civil case continue in the United States? We were saying give him some more time, but it's August now, dog. 3 months later, we still hadn't heard nothing. And some people say it take about 6 months for a decision like this to be made, But the thing is, it's quiet as hell. It really is. That's the only thing I'm saying. It is quiet. It is quiet. The judge haven't made a decision. Really haven't heard anything that's like banging are allowed to talk about Dejanay's admit that she put hands on Shanquella. You know? And yeah, we've seen it in the articles, but I'm talking about being loud with it. Being loud with it. You know? So, now once again, everybody was loud when this first happened to Shanquella. Everybody was loud about the lawsuit dropped on Cowboy 6. But you have to understand, Cowboy 6 has been denying putting hands on Shanquella, been denying about they don't know what happened, been denying and lying about alcohol poisoning. Then finally, Dejanay say, yeah, I did, but it was self-defense. What? Oh, it's time to get back loud. My opinion. Okay? Because you're dealing with evil people. And this is Shanquella's last chance. As y'all will see right there. On Wednesday, May 14th, a federal judge in Charlotte heard motions that could determine where the wrongful deletion lawsuit against the so-called Cowboy 6 will proceed. So that was in May. June, July, August, 3 months. It's still quiet. But like they say, sometimes it take about 6 months. You know, sometimes they say it do take about 6 months. But the thing is, it's quiet. It's quiet. The judge has not made a decision yet. When they say it take about 6 months, like I said. But my thing is, you're dealing with evil people here. My opinion, it needs to stay loud. Because this is the only chance left. This is the last hope of Shanquella getting some type of justice. My opinion. My opinion. This is the only last hope. That's my opinion. Because if it's dismissed in the United States, oh, taking it over there to Mexico, how? They don't have to go over there to Mexico. Now, Mexico can request for them, like Mexico has requests for Dejanay for over 2 years. And guess where she at? Playing in people's face over here in the United States, still talking about, oh, it was self-defense. She ain't thought about complying with Mexico because Mexico do have a warrant for Dejanay's arrest. But they can't come over here and get her. The United States have to agree to extradite Dejanay back over there. And that hasn't been done yet. And it's very hard for the United States to extradite their citizens anywhere. It's hard. And Mexico damn sure can't come over here snatching nobody without United States government approval. So, when you say take the case over there back to Mexico, and they said send it over there to Mexico, they knew what they were saying because they knew that wasn't going to happen. They knew that wasn't going to happen. It could happen, but they knew that they can't be made to go to their folks' courtroom, even if it went over there to Mexico and Mexico set a court date, a trial date, or whatever. The Cowboy 6 ain't got to go to that. Now, Shanquella family might be there. But if you're waiting on the Cowboy 6 to walk in the door, you sadly mistaken. They ain't going to walk through the door without having to be extradited through the door. So, to me, this is Shanquella's last hope for justice. And I just feel it should be louder. And we can't be loud without the family being loud. I said that before. But if the family sit back, we have to just sit back. Because they do how they want to do. We can't make them do what we want them to do. So when they fall back, we have to fall back. When I see and my team see updates in the news, we talks about it. But if it start getting loud and somebody in the family is getting loud about it, oh yeah, then we get loud. We start back going at it again. Putting their names in the spotlight. But you can't do it without the family help. You know? And not saying they not doing everything they have to do or supposed to do. And that's not what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is, it's quiet. It should be a little bit louder. And that's just my opinion. I have a right to that. So, that's all I have to say about that, is that an update has been very quiet, and we are still waiting on the judge to make his decision on if he's going to let the civil suit continue on in the United States against Cabo 6. Or is he going to dismiss it and say, no, this case belongs over there in Mexico? But we are waiting on that decision. But I don't feel like if the decision don't turn out the way everybody would like for it to turn out, that's when some people will be upset and say, well, Dejanay had even admitted putting hands on her, but then you waited till after the judge's decision to say that. That's why I'm saying all that should be real loud right now before the judge make that decision. Because you don't know where that decision gonna fall. In the favor of Cabo 6 or in the favor of Shanquella's justice. We just don't know. So, that's all I had to say about that one right there. Now, let's talk about Jarvis Butts. Talking about he want a dismissal. Boy, I tell you. The clown season is real around this camp. Clown season is real. I'm sorry. Jarvis Butts done messed around there talking about he want a dismissal for certain things regarding other cases that he have. But see, something tells me that Mr. Butts here is most likely is trying to get some charges dropped off other cases. Then, when his trial comes up in October for Naziah, he gonna try to do the same thing if this right here works this time. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about, because see, Jarvis Butts went into court. I meant to tell y'all about this because you know we stay updated on the Naziah Harris case, okay? And he done went to court. It was like the 4th of this month, around the first week of August. And he had another case against him dealing with another kid. Now, let me give the rundown on this right here for people who probably don't know and didn't follow this case. You could go back and look. We did a story on this, and we went over his pretrial hearing about Naziah Harris, okay? But to make a long, to do a quick review, Jarvis here was messing with Naziah's auntie. So Jarvis was going with the auntie, and then Jarvis started messing with Naziah, who's only 12 years old, and he's messing with the auntie. Jarvis have a history of being a tricycle chaser, okay? A dangerous tricycle chaser. And Naziah's grandmother, who had custody of Naziah, and this is her daughter, and her daughter stayed with the grandmother. Naziah stayed with the grandmother, and Jarvis was messing with both of them. Now, there's all kind of text messages of him messing with this baby. The auntie after a while, did see on text message that her man was messing with her baby niece, okay, who is only 12 years old. But instead of her getting rid of Jarvis, it's like she had a jealousy towards her niece, that her niece was messing around with her man. But she didn't want to really say nothing, didn't want to get rid of the man, because that's most likely the best looking man that she feels she ever had. Okay, that's what it's given. I'm sorry. And the grandmother also have a history of being involved in this type of stuff, or growing up in this type of stuff. You have to go back and look at some of my videos. I give the history on the grandmother as well. It seems like little stuff like this round tricycle chasers have been lurking around their family for a long time. Okay, so Jarvis messed around there, and it was in some text message that Naziah had something growing inside of her stomach, okay? And then all of a sudden, this one right here, the auntie, in some text messages she done seen, that kind of gave her inkling about her niece, you know, having a bump in the stomach, and everybody most likely knew it was Jarvis, okay? And it wasn't long before Naziah goes over to Jarvis' shop after school, and she's never seen again. They found her, but the grandparent, the grandmother, and her, Naziah auntie, they all knew Naziah was over there at Jarvis' shop. It was so many people say they seen that girl at that shop that day that she was missing. She was with Jarvis, and Jarvis' homeboy said, yeah, Naziah was riding in the car with them that day, and all that kind of stuff. So Jarvis was the last one seen with her, and she has never been seen since. Then it took the grandmother a whole day to even report her granddaughter missing. And they asked her in the pre-trial, is this a habit that she don't come straight home from school? She said, no, she always come home straight home from school. Well, why you wait a whole day before you reported her missing? You know, obviously knew something was wrong. She couldn't answer that for real. So that's what made me think all of them had stank wrapped around this here thing with Naziah being missing. Probably not. Just my opinion. I'm just saying, why would a grandmother wait a whole day to report her daughter or granddaughter missing? Not me. Couldn't be mine. If mine is used to coming home from school every day, and I'm talking about straight off the bus in the house, and she don't come in that house, you think I'm going to wait till the next day to say that she's missing? And then the grandmother didn't really report it to the police. She went to the school to see if Naziah was in school the next day. What? Well, anyway, that was the short version of that story. If you want to know the whole thing, go back and look at my video dealing with Naziah, Jarvis Butts, and Naziah's grandmother. So, Jarvis went into court the first week of this month, and his lawyers was trying to get some of his charges dealing with another child, trying to get him kind of either revoked, dismissed, or not relevant to his trial. Okay, so as you would see, that's another thing. This man here will walk up in the courtroom like a timid puppy, when really he's a walking monster full of demonic activities and evil mindset. Okay? I don't know why they keep letting him wear this mask, okay? He been wearing this thing since the pre-trial that they had the beginning of the year about Naziah. He don't want nobody to see his face. It's almost like he's now trying to be shamefaced it, and he don't want nobody to see his whole face. He don't want nobody to see his monster face, okay? So when he have expressions and things like that, he don't want you to be able to see his face. But my thing is, why they keep letting him wear this mask over his face? Do he have something that he really needs the mask to keep from exposing others? Or is he just using the mask because he don't want people looking at him and he's trying to hide his identity? And if that's the case, he needs that mask snatched off of him. Because don't no other criminal come into court like that. So what makes him so special? So I really have been trying to see, does Jarvis have some type of illness that he keeps wearing a mask and they don't want him being exposed to everybody else in the courtroom? Or is this just something, a tactic that he used to just hide behind a mask because of his trifling behavior? If so, they need to snatch that mask off. Point blank, period. See, this right here, nah, dog. Not if it's not anything wrong with him that, he can get others sick. This right here, see how he's sitting there, family? This right here needs to stop. This right here needs to stop. Especially if they test him and ain't nothing wrong with him. Nah, dog. Sit in the courtroom like anybody else have to sit in there without a mask. He been doing this ever since Nazia's been missing and he got arrested. That's 2 years now. Almost. Well, yeah, it is about 2 years. Because it was in 2024 when she became missing. And the trial is coming up in 2025. Well, a year. I say a year he been wearing that funky mask. He don't want to walk in the courtroom like that right now. Yeah. How can a criminal like that, a dangerous tricycle chaser like that, be embarrassed about the public seeing him? You wasn't embarrassed when you was tricycle chasing these kids. Yes. But anyway, y'all will see that this was I'm just updating y'all, but this was the kind of the first week of August. It says suspect in Naziah Harris deletion case appears in court. Here's what happened. Okay. The Detroit man accused of deleting 13-year-old Naziah Harris, but he was messing with her when she was like 11 and 12 years old, who disappeared in January 2024, was back in court on Monday, August the 4th. Okay, that was the first week of August. I'm just giving y'all this update because we're going to follow that trial, because that trial comes up in October of this year, in like 2 more months. But anyway, Jarvis Butts charged in 2013, Allen Park, SA, okay? And then you'll see that Jarvis Butts is also connected to Naziah's disappearance, okay? But he did this act here to another child in 2023. Then turn around and in 2024, he was doing that to Naziah, and then he deleted Naziah, okay? Now, he was in court, family, because his lawyers were saying, well, because he touched the kids and didn't do hanky-panky with the kids, we think some of the charges should be downgraded to, like, not battery, but just inappropriate touching. What? What difference does it make? You ain't even supposed to have your hands on kids anyway. What difference does it make if he just was touching on them and didn't hank-pank with them? What difference does it make? It's still child abuse. So y'all will see that it says the defense filed 2 motions to quash related to first-degree criminal conduct charged in Butts' other cases, claiming that there was abuse of discretion, meaning that, it wasn't as bad. Like, yeah, he messed with him, but he didn't hang paint with him. He was just touching on him. It doesn't matter. Y'all could have said that. To my opinion. Then it says, the defense said that one witness who was 4 years old at the time of the, thing is now 13 and didn't testify that any hang paint had occurred, but rather said that he was touching him. Okay? What difference does it make? What difference does it make? That's that. I mean, if family, you ain't got no business with your hands on no kids in an in an inappropriate manner anyway. So what difference does it make if he hanked paint with him or he was just doing other things to him? What? Y'all could have saved that debate. Y'all could have saved that motion. That's just my opinion, okay? Y'all could have saved that. What difference does it make? Because that leads to him hank paint. Well, what we can say, he hank paint with Naziah right there on the screen. Because she had it in text messages. And he had been doing this tricycle chaser for a long time. Before he even ran into Naziah's auntie and then started messing with the niece, Naziah. He already had a terrible background. He wasn't even supposed to be around kids. And Naziah's auntie knew that, and her grandmother knew that Jarvis shouldn't even been around their household with kids. And they said not only was he messing with Naziah and their family, but he was messing with other kids in Naziah's family. Yeah. Because some of those kids are speaking out in Naziah's trial. So he's just despicable. So what are we debating here? Unbelievable. What are we debating? I mean, come on now. Oh, well, we think some of the charges need to be dropped because he didn't really hang paint. He was just touching. What? We don't care. We really don't care. He needs to be up under the jail just for touching too. He's a dangerous tricycle chaser. Yes, with student statements, children's statements, texts and all that, touching on kids and all that. Lock him up. He has an alarming, disturbing history of being a dangerous tricycle chaser. But the judge denied that motion anyway, and I'm glad. I'm so glad the judge denied that motion that they was trying to pull over here. I'm so glad he denied that motion. But the judge, Jarvis, it was another case came up. And then they was asking the judge, well, can you hear the other case? And the judge said, well, I'll be able to hear that case. I think he's going to hear that case sometime in September the 16th at 10 a.m. It's another pre-trial that Jarvis has going on. And it might be this same one that Jarvis tried to get out of by saying, oh, I just touched him, didn't hang paint with him. But then the judge denied that motion that he was trying to get some things dropped off that case. So that might be the same case that Jarvis have to go into September the 16th. And then remind you, he got to do a trial for Naziah there on the screen in October. So they got him hemmed up for so many different children cases it's pathetic. Yes. But Naziah do need justice immediately. And I'm not feeling Naziah auntie, her grandmother, none of them. And like I said, I did a breakdown on them. So if you want to go back and check it out, go back and check it out. But it's in there. You'll see Naziah, her grandmother, and her auntie, and Jarvis. And I did a whole breakdown on them. But we'll stay on top of Naziah's case. I'm going to also see what's going on this September the 16th at 10 a.m. That's supposed to be like a pre-trial as well. So that's the date on that. And then you have Naziah's case. Her trial will start with Jarvis in October. So we'll stay on top of that. And we'll stay on top of Shanquella Robinson's case. And my team is also looking into the Mahogany Jackson case with the Birmingham 8. Because that trial should be coming up pretty soon as well. I know they working on that, so I don't want to talk too soon about that right there. But we are still working on Mahogany's case because her trial should be coming up soon. Because Naziah, she was missing in January 2024, and her trial is coming up with Jarvis in October. And then Mahogany, the Birmingham 8 did that to her. They deleted her in February of 2024, just a month after Naziah's deal. And so Mahogany case should be coming up, but my team is working on that, and when I get more information on that, I will let everybody know about that as well. So, okay, now let's go move on. Yeah, but that's the auntie right there. And can anybody tell me, before I move on, because I knew I had this up there for some reason. Can anybody tell me, this Naziah auntie, the one that was going with the tricycle chaser, knew he was a tricycle chaser and still let him be around her kids and Naziah all in the same house? What? But can anybody tell? See, this lets me know exactly how off this woman here is, right? This let me know that this backyard Barbie has no training for is woman wise. Okay, it lets me know how much she's lacking at being a woman. First of all, we knew she was lacking at being a woman when she had the tricycle chaser around her kids and Naziah in the same house. But then when they showed this, somebody had caught her out there on the street here about a month or two ago, and this girl here was in the car. And somebody called her, want to ask her some questions or whatever. Look at her fingers, family. This girl has 4 fingers right here. Not even done. Then you will see her put her hand on her chin over here. And she got 1 long fingernail. So only 1 finger is done. All the other 4 is looking like garbage. Say it ain't so. We got to do better. Why she just didn't take that one off? Just pluck that fingernail clean off, because that definitely is not attractive. To have 1 long finger that's done and the other 4 is looking like you just got through washing dishes and doing laundry. We got to do better. Lord. See, that's when you know the upkeeps ain't good. That's when you know the upkeeps ain't good. All you got to do is look at people's fingers and stuff, and you can tell that the upkeep ain't good. See, I taught my sons to look for upkeeps like that. You got a woman come running in your face trying to talk to you and all that, and then 4 fingers ain't done and 1 finger is done. You run for the hills, son. You run for the hills, because that's one that you don't need to bring home to mama, not me. Anyway, next. Cardi B up there in court. Now, I just don't know what's going on with Cardi B. Cardi B been on trial all week for allegedly attacking a female security guard. The security guard is named Imani Ellis. We don't know what's going on with these Imani. Dejanay wants to be a Imani. This girl here name is Imani. But she was a security guard, okay? And she said that Cardi B attacked her and then cut her face with her Cardi B fingernails, cut her face, and she had to go through plastic surgery and all that good stuff like that. Now, my thing is, I said, okay, Cardi B done came in there with the conservative look, because see, when I was looking at the trial, I didn't know if Cardi B was Sharon Osbourne. I didn't know what was going on here. But this is the chick right here, and she said that Cardi B attacked her while she was on duty, and she won about $25,000, and punitive damages and all that stuff right there. So which means she probably asking for about a good $50,000 for the attack Cardi did on her. Okay, so we'll get into that, but you'll see right here it says rapper Cardi B expected to take the stand on the first day of a silver thing. Okay, so what happened was the chick works at a place that women go for pregnancies and things like that. Okay, and so the lady said that she said in her head, not to anyone, say, hey, that looked like Cardi B coming into the office. Now, this lady here is a security guard at this pregnancy center, okay? And so the lady said when she saw Cardi B, she just said, oh, that looked like Cardi B. And so she did a double take, and she like, oh, snap, that is Cardi B. And so she said that after that, Cardi B looked at her, and Cardi B saying, why you saying out loud my name? Why you saying that I'm here? I don't want nobody to know that I'm here. Cardi B, this is when she was pregnant with her first child, Culture. And Cardi was trying to keep it secretive. Well, the lady said that she didn't tell anyone. She just said, oh, that looked like Cardi B. That's what she said, okay? And then she said that Cardi B went off on her and started telling her, why the F you telling people that I'm in here and all that stuff? I'm going to make them fire you. You going to lose your job and all that. And then the lady said that Cardi started body shaming her. She said Cardi was making racial slurs at her. She said Cardi threw out that liquid, stuff out her mouth on her. And then she said that Cardi was acting out of control, swung on her the nails that Cardi had on, which Cardi do wear long nails. She said that it struck her in the face, and then her face was cut real bad. Okay? So this is what the lady said happened allegedly. Now Cardi B said, nah, that's not really how it went. She was saying my name. I didn't want nobody to know I was there. She could have just left me alone. Even if she thought it was me or whatever, she could have just let me went on in that elevator and go see my doctor so I could get my checkup for my pregnancy. But she was like, oh, that's Cardi B. And Cardi said that the girl had the phone out and looked like she wanted to record. Or she said the girl didn't have the phone up. She had it like to her chest. And Cardi said that the girl looked like she was filming her. So Cardi got upset. And Cardi say that this woman was the aggressor, not her. Okay? But the lady said with that scratch on the side of her face or whatever Cardi nails did to her, it caused her to see 2 different plastic surgeons. She had to undergo 2 plastic surgeries after Cardi B attacked. That's what she said. But like I said, Cardi claims that this woman here was the aggressor, that she wasn't the aggressor. Okay. I somewhat believe Imani Ellis and Cardi B. Because I do think that when the lady seen Cardi, that she said, oh, there go Cardi B. And I think maybe she did pull out that phone to, like, get a picture at least to show people she ain't lying, that she seen Cardi B. But it just happened to be at this here pregnancy center. Now, when a woman goes in there, they should have some privacy to where people ain't filming them or taking pictures of them and stuff like that. And, of course, at this time, Cardi did not want anyone to know that she was pregnant. So I do think that Cardi did go off at that time. Because Cardi B has a history of blowing her top. So I kind of believe a little bit of both stories. You know, I do think this female, she's saying, oh no, I just said, that looked like Cardi B. There go Cardi B. And that was it. I kind of think you did, my opinion, but, that's the judge's decision and stuff to make. But I kind of think that she did get a little excited, like, oh man, that Cardi B walking in here, she pregnant? And things like that. And then tried to get a little snapshot or something like that, and Cardi B caught her and went off. Okay, and Cardi shouldn't have went off the way she went off, but I think that is about how it started. But Cardi is wrong for aggressively going at this woman, if that's exactly what happened. Or did this woman aggressively go at Cardi? Well, they are in trial now, and we will know which side or which one will be found guilty in this case, and if this woman will win this case or Cardi will win this case. We'll see. Both of them got lawyers up in there. So the girl is asking for $25,000 from Cardi, and then some punitive damages, medical expenses, loss of wage, because the woman said that when that happened, Cardi B did call her boss or whatever, and the woman got fired, But the woman is saying that it was Cardi's fault. And then Cardi's saying it's her fault. So we'll know pretty soon when this trial is over with. It shouldn't last that long. Should go on probably the rest of this week. But then we'll know. But Cardi does have a past behavior of just being quick-tempered, And this is not like, this is the first time we're hearing that Cardi B lost her temper in public on somebody. She has a history of doing this. So, that might come up in the courtroom. Because Cardi does have a history of going on the internet, talking mess, out of control, talking mess about Offset, clowning on Offset, clowning on her fans sometimes, clowning on women who she think done been with Offset. Sometimes she has a bad attitude on the internet, and she's had altercations in public with other women. So this ain't the first time she's been in court for somebody saying Cardi jumped on them or losing their temper or she was fighting them or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. But her past behavior can affect this here silver suit. And people have to understand that. Your past behavior can affect what you got going on in a courtroom in the future. Because it can affect you in a civil case matter. It can affect you in a criminal court matter. Because people going to bring up that past. About, isn't it true that you had an altercation with this person, you was being sued by this person, or you settled with this person? Isn't it true in another incident you was going off on somebody? Isn't it true on Instagram you was going off on this person, you was threatening this person, or you was saying this about your husband, or you was saying this about another female, or you saying this about your fans? They could try to use her past to make her look like most likely she did do this to this here woman, But my thing is, but we'll see what the outcome is this week, and we'll talk about the outcome, whether this woman won this civil case or not. But my thing is, when I saw Cardi B, I didn't know what to think, okay? I didn't, and that's it. You see right here, it says Cardi B allegedly throw that mouth fluid on the lady and then slashes the security guard, in the face with her fingernails, doing a throwdown showdown, okay? So we'll see. But I didn't know if, when I first turned on to it, I didn't know if Cardi B was Bruce Lee, Sharon Osbourne, or Kris Jenner. I didn't know which. I said, wait a minute, I thought they said the Cardi B trial was going on. Then I had to do a double take. Damn, that looked like Bruce Lee. Damn, that looked like Sharon Osbourne. Damn, that looked like Kris Jenner. Oh, that's Cardi B. So Cardi B went in the courtroom looking conservative with the Bruce Lee haircut at first. And then the next day she came in looking like Anna right here. I said, what is going on? No, dog. I didn't know what to say. Anna Nicole. She came in there the next day looking like Anna Nicole. Okay, I said, Cardi, which one you gonna do? Now, it is given to me that Cardi the next day knew this is the day she got up on the stand. This is the day that she was listening to the chick's testimony, okay? So she went in there looking like this, doing the chick's testimony, looking like with the Bruce Lee haircut, okay? Then, after that, the next day she knew she was going to get on that stand, and Cardi walked up in there with the Anna Nicole look. And I said, now, come on now. See, judges and things like that, they see through this. So it looks like Cardi was trying to be a little sexier when she knew she had to get up on the stand, and she knew, long as she knew she was sitting in that chair because it was the girl turn to testify, then she just gonna sit down, then, you can't see her for real. You can see her, but you can't see her. She's not getting the spotlight. The girl is getting the spotlight. So Cardi went in there with the Bruce Lee haircut when she knew the girl was going to get the spotlight. Imani Ellis was going to get the spotlight. But then when Cardi knew it was time for her to sashay up on the stand the next day, Cardi came in with the Anna Nicole look. Trying to, it was given, do a little flirtatious thing around that courtroom, and that's the worst thing to do. But anyway, move on. Okay, but that was the case. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out there. Yeah, we will definitely see how that turns out. Now, Shiloh Sanders was cut from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he thumped Zach upside his head during their pregame here. Okay, now my opinion, Zach was poking the bear during that whole game. That's my opinion, okay? Now, when a woman can see this, something is definitely wrong. But I do like football because I am a Who Dat Nation fan, okay? And I'm in a Who Dat Nation organization, okay? Who that? Who that? Who that said they're going to beat them Saints? Even though the Saints ain't doing too well last year and whatever, but we still hang in there. But anyway, Shiloh thumped Zach upside his head because Zach was poking the bear the whole time. That's exactly what it was given. Zach was trying to manhandle Shiloh. That's what it was given to me. That's what it was given to me. Okay? But Shiloh wasn't supposed to go upside Zach's head, but it is understandable. It's going upside Zach's head right now. But it's understandable because Zach kept on poking this bear. He kept on poking this bear the whole time. And it's given setup. It is given definitely set up. This whole thing smell like skunk meat to me. So let's get down to it. Shiloh Sanders brother of Shiloh Sanders, cut by Tampa Bay. Because, well, they got to go down to a 53 roster anyway, so they was cutting people anyway. But they kind of used the excuse of Shiloh thumping Zach right here upside his head. But Zach was poking that bear. Wasn't that right, Zach? Yes, you was. Because, see, Zach was trying to manhandle Shiloh the whole time. Tugging on his mask, tugging on his face mask, all that. He threw a heavy blow on Shiloh too. But see, people act like they ain't want to see that. They just focusing on when Shiloh gave Zach that one-piece snap. Then Shiloh got ejected out of the game. And then the next day, the Buccaneers cut him. Okay? But it's giving setup, Zach. So let's talk about it, Zach. Because Zach did some things that looked like this was a pure D setup. Now, check it out, family. Yes, check it out. I want y'all to see something, because this looked like a pure D setup to me. And I want you to see how Zach, boy, did this here thing. Yeah, looked like this was a planned setup to me. That's what it was giving. It was giving plan. It was giving plan. Yeah, that's what it was given to me, Zach. Okay, so check this out. Okay, you will see Zach was tugging and grabbed. Bow. Okay, well, that's when Zach got that two-piece snap. Well, that one-piece snap. But check out at the beginning how you would see Zach tugging. Now, you will see right here, and you probably can't see it all that clear, but Zach is tugging on Shador face mask. Now, remind you, for the people who didn't see this game, this play was over. You could see the other players even stop playing. And Shador had his hands down, like walking too. But for some reason, Zach wanted to continue to play even though the play was over. And the whistle blew and the game was over. But Zach acted like he didn't hear that whistle. Zach wanted to continue, and Shador was basically like had his guards down because he had his hands down. He was running hard, and then he stopped. Just like if you look at the field, the rest of his team members stopped. The rest of Zach's team members stopped. The play was over. But Zach wanted to continue to poke the bear. So he didn't want the play to be over because it was given Zach had a mission. A setup mission. That's what it was given. I'm sorry. Okay? Because I watch football. I know about it. Now, check it out. So see, that seemed like a setup. It really did. It seemed like a setup to me, Zach. I'm sorry. Let me just talk about it, because see, Zach was clearly the aggressor in this whole thing. He was. Is it right for Shador to do that one-piece hit? No, it wasn't. But the thing is, it happened. But nobody is talking about that one-piece hit that Zach did on Shador. Nah, ain't nobody talking about that. Why is that? Why ain't nobody talking about that hit? Because Zach clearly did it. He hit Shiloh. My bad if I was saying Shador. He hit Shiloh, and then he grabbed Shiloh's face mask. He tugged Shiloh around with his face mask, which is dangerous. Now, Shiloh almost grabbed somebody's face mask too earlier in that game, and he got a flag for that. He did. They threw a flag or something like that, right? But the thing is, when Zach did it, pulled on Shiloh's face mask, he didn't get no flag. When he threw that punch he didn't get ejected. Instead, let me show y'all this right here. Watch the thumbs back that Zach give. That's another thing I wanted to show y'all. Watch the thumbs back that Zach does when he knows he's gotten Shiloh. There it go, right there. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, check this out. I'm going to stop it right here. Now, let me go back a little bit more. Okay. Here, y'all see, Zach does the point. He does the thumb point. You see his thumb pointed back at, he raises his hand, points his hand back at Shiloh like, out of here. Out of here. He knew he had did something to get Shador in trouble. It's almost like this was a plan. He threw his hand back like, out of here. And before this, he kept taunting Shiloh. He was pushing his hands down to the ground as if Shiloh is little boy, little league. That's what that means when you pump your hand all the way down kind of to the ground saying you're a little boy, you little league, you little this, you little that. He was doing that. That's taunting. I thought taunting ain't supposed to happen without you getting in trouble for taunting another player. Well, Zach did that way before this. Okay? Then you will see his thumb pointed after he starts this agitation. He points his hands like, out of here. Like, yep, see there, I did it. See there, I got it. See there, I did it. I did just what you wanted. What? That's what it was given. A clean setup. Then he gonna walk off like it was a setup. See his thumb pointed back. Like after he did all that and the ref was on Shiloh, then Zach gonna turn around like he ain't did nothing. Like he didn't throw no hit. Like he wasn't tugging on Shiloh face mask. Like he wasn't taunting him. He gonna turn around and say, out of here, and walk off with his thumb point back. While Shiloh get ejected. Boy, it smell like skunk meat with that right there. Yes, it does. So, let me go back to this. Because, see, I feel like this. Zach made a statement that furthermore, to me, feels like that was a setup. And like I said, it probably wasn't. I'm just saying what it was given to me. That's my opinion. It's my opinion that it seemed like it smelled like skunk meat and that Zach set this whole thing up. That's what it's given. Now, it's given that Zach or somebody close to Zach or something was trying to trick Shiloh out his bag and trick him out of his position and trick him off the team. Zach walked off like a clear setup. We know trickery when we see it. It was given trickery. Now I know, Shiloh is a quiet person, respectable person. We know that because of his father, Deion Sanders, had them in the spotlight a lot. You don't hear too much of nothing about these kids just going haywire, okay? You don't hear nothing about these kids in the press on some type of craziness. None of that. They very quiet. Deion did a great job raising his kids. You don't hear too much. Now, Shador has an outgoing, high ego like his dad did when his dad was younger. Shiloh, not so much. He's very laid back. And you can tell that doggone Zach had definitely started that right there. He definitely started that. It's no ands, if, buts about it. Okay? Now, let me talk about this right here, because I know some people say Shiloh and Shador are not good players, or they ain't playing that good, or the hype is too hype for them. They ain't all that and things like that. I do hear some of that as well. But I feel like this. Let them get cut by their own poor performance, not by other players constantly provoking Shiloh and Shador into poor performance because of the dislike that people have for their father, Deion Sanders. See, that's a big difference. See, it's a big difference when you have poor performance on your own versus other people provoking you to have poor performance, Zach, and then they get penalized for it because a lot of people don't like their father, Deion Sanders. What? See, that's a big difference right there. Yeah, that's a big difference when somebody have a setup already on top of your head and you don't know that you got set up on top of your head, and you run into that setup, and when people set you up, they walk off and smile, Zach, and then you get caught up in the setup and fall in that quicksand, while the person who set you up is smiling and throwing their thumbs back, talking about, got him, got him. What? Because that's exactly what it was given, and I'm entitled to my own opinion. Yes. And see, a lot of people just don't like them Sanders fathers. Point blank period. They don't like his father. A lot of people don't. And a lot of people, y'all to see right here, I get on about that in a minute, but y'all to see right here about Sanders punched the tight end, Zach Davison, who was blocking him after some heavy pushing and shoving in the second quarter. Bucks linebacker John Bullock tried to calm Sanders after the Tampa Bay, and then he walked off. Okay, then the Tampa Bay lost 23-19, okay? But the thing is, this is what they say. You can't throw punches in this league. That's inexcusable, Bowles said. Okay? They're going to get you every time. You got to grow from that. Okay, but did they tell Zach that? Because Zach also threw a punch. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are acting like they only seen one punch and didn't see Zach throw a punch. My thing is, don't they got replays? I see them all the time. Why didn't they do a replay for Zach too? See, that's why I said it's giving setup. You know? And Shiloh was definitely trying to say, hey man, this man here was punching me first and doing that, and they don't want to hear that. And they always say the person who hits last get caught. But my thing is, why not do a replay? Yeah, because I noticed that in this article here, it don't mention nothing about Zachary. Yes, don't mention nothing about Zachy boy throwing punches at all. Then you'll see, this was Zach's statement. Another thing that made me feel like this was a setup, because I didn't like his statement at all. Hold on, fam. Okay. I did hear them over there in the other room was playing, knocking, or doing something. But anyway, you'll see this was Zach's statement. As y'all will see at the top, it says Zach Davison break silence. Okay? Now, this is what he said, family. Zach said, following the game, Zach Davison commented on the exchange. I was just chasing a far deep DB and trying to finish the whistle, and he had a little bit more to say. While Davison refrained from retaliating physically, he gestured the too small taunt towards Sanders. See how I told y'all he taunted the boy. And he was doing the too small gestures. Now, the football I watch, when a player be taunting another player, they flag. They throw the flag. They get penalized for it. Zach did not get that. This was before the altercation. So they act like they didn't see that. Okay, let's continue. Then he says, I didn't say anything. He added, I may have gestured something, but if you get mad for getting blocked, I can't really control what else he does. Now see how Zach just sat up there and told that bold ass lie? See, that's what I'm talking about. See, this right here. Zach didn't say one time. He said, I might have gestured something. Might have, but you know you did. You taunted the man, okay? With the small little thing. About he's small, okay? He too small. You did that. Go on and admit that. Then, you started, the whistle had blew. Shiloh stopped. The other team members stopped on the field. Zach was the only one still going aggressively. As if this was planned. I'm sorry. Maybe it wasn't. I'm just telling you what it was given. Okay? And for a female to see it, something is definitely stinking the water. And he continued. He grabbed Shiloh by the face mask. Working on the face mask. Shiloh was steady trying to get him up off him. You got Zach trying to manhandle. He's trying to make a situation out of no situation. Then, Shiloh messed around and break through from that mask face holding, and he gave him a one piece. Then all of a sudden, Zach don't know what happened. You know, if you get mad because I say something, because you say something, if you get mad because I blocked you, no, you did more than block him. First of all, you were blocking him when a play was dead. Where they do that at? It wasn't like y'all had some speed and the whistle blew and then you had to slow down. Nah, the whistle blew and Shiloh was just standing there with his hands down. Then all of a sudden, hey, you come acting like you still blocking. That's the way I seen it. That's the way I seen it. Well, anyway, Shiloh got cut. Hopefully he'll get picked up from somebody else, another team, because all teams are cutting people. But I feel like this. Now, Shador does have a big ego. Okay, that need to be calmed down a little bit. Shiloh, not so much. But I do feel like they are being targeted because a lot of people just don't like Deion Sanders. In my opinion, a lot of people don't like Deion Sanders because he's been his own moneymaker. He's been his own enterprise builder. He's been his own strong man. He really didn't have to depend on the industry or the NFL, or after he retired out the NFL. He hadn't really had to lean on the industry. He didn't have to fool with the industry. He didn't have to fool with the NFLs and stuff like that. Now, he would do commentating and he would be on there, reporting on football and things like that. But that was just an appearance come off, and then he became a college coach. Okay? He wanted to be an NFL coach and couldn't get in there. And so then he started doing college coaching. And a lot of people don't like strong people like that. Strong men like that. And a lot of people wasn't digging Deion. Okay? Because he didn't base his livelihood around the industry and all that. Okay? So a lot of people got a little ill will towards Deion Sanders because he was his own man, point blank, period. And now it seems like his sons are getting a backlash because people don't like their dad. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. They getting a lot of backlash because who their father is. They being target because of who their father is. That's what I'm getting out of this. And people could say all day, oh, them boys ain't no good at no football. Oh, them boys can't do that. Okay, well, let them fall out on their own. I don't feel like they should be targeted to fall out. It's a big difference. Big difference. And we can see straight through it. May I add? Now, Deion Sanders is worth $60 million to $65 million. Okay? He basically has built a lot of that through his own enterprise by doing, all kind of endorsements and things like that, coaching and things like that. Okay? So he coaches as well. And he's the only athlete to ever play in both a Super Bowl and a World Series. Sanders earned a substantial income from both the NFL and MLB. Okay? So he got a lot too with his endorsements with Nike, Pepsi, Pizza Hut, and things like that, But the thing is, it's a lot of people that's not feeling Deion. And he works as a university coach at Colorado. And in March 2025, his annual coaching salary increased to $10 million for the 2025 and 2026 season. Okay? So he's his own man. I don't know why people have that, where they just not feeling Deion, and his kids are taking the bulk of it. And I feel like this, I don't feel it's right, because people have to understand, what if it was you and you have been very successful, you build your own enterprise, and then it seems like when your sons go out there to make their own way, people target them because of the dislike people have of you. That's not fair. And that needs to be under control. That needs to be fixed. Because if not, then that means not only is Deion Sanders' sons and daughters or whatever will catch backlash because of the dislike for Deion Sanders, then that means when his grandkids are able to play, they will be damn near blacklisted out of the NFL or whatever they doing because of the dislikes of that grandchild's grandfather, Deion Sanders. It will be a generational effect because of the dislike of Deion Sanders. I think that should stop somewhere. And a lot of people say, oh, no, that ain't going on. BS. We could see it. We see straight through the okie doke. Yes, we do. We see straight through the okie doke. That was a okie doke move Zach pulled on Shiloh. And Shiloh fell in the quicksand by giving Zach that one-piece snack. Hopefully he will get picked by another team before the season starts. If not, he would just have to keep trying. But let's hear what his father said, Dion, when he was doing a press conference about his football team. Then somebody asked him about Shiloh being cut and waived from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this is what Dion said about his son. Check it out.
Hey, Coach Pat Graham again. Nice to see you. Hey, just got to talk to you about, NFL's a tough business. Shiloh had, some bad. It's just have you talked to him and how are his spirits?
Most definitely. He's my son. I'm proud of my kids, all of them. And I prepared my kids for any and everything that could possibly happen in life and in sports. That's part of fathering. That's part of parenting. That's part of having a relationship.
You say it, boy.
He is mentally where he needs to be, physically where he needs to be. We're praying that he gets another opportunity to go with a team. But if he doesn't, the plans have already been put forward to what he's going to do next. So Shiloh is a man of many talents. I don't know if you guys know he's a man of many talents, and he's going to be straight. All the Sanders are going to be straight.
What?
With or without football. You better believe that. You better believe that. I take care of mine. And I've always have. And y'all know what I mean. You better believe that.
And he said he'd take care of his. And you know what that means. And he said the Sanders kids gonna always be straight. With or without football. And they have, he says Shiloh is a man of many talents. And he is, because I've seen Shiloh do editing work, filming work. He does a lot of filming work for the family, So he has a lot up under his belt. So do Shador. And that's what I like. Dion didn't only prepare them to play football. They have a hell of an educational background to be anything they want to be and make a hell of a lot of money at doing it. They are their own franchise as well. Yeah. So, it ain't nothing like hearing a black man say, my kid's gonna be all right. I take care of mine. They gonna be all right with or without football. Boy, if that ain't a good feeling to hear. But that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people don't like Dion. And I ain't talking about just regular people like us out here in the public. It's some big dogs out there in them industries and everywhere else that sometimes don't like the success of some men out here. And so they start throwing sabotage sticks, trying to push the striving and surviving into quicksand because they don't like or they jealous of what that person have or got, But good luck to Shador. Good luck to Shiloh. Shador, I think he made his team. The Browns. He made that team. So hopefully Shiloh will get a call somewhere. So good luck to that young man. And hopefully he'll get another chance on somebody's NFL team. Just control your temper, young man. Don't let nobody trick you out your bag, man. Because that was clearly a trick. That's what it was given to me. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. Anyway, next. This gonna be it, and then I'm gonna close out, family, because I'm going in too long. But hey, I just want to talk about this strip club here in Birmingham, Alabama, honey. The strip club in Birmingham, Alabama said the chicks can drop off the poles upside down, slide all around, and dance all night. They can clap they scoot booties all night, but they won't be getting paid. What? Anyway, check it out. They said Birmingham strip club sued again for allegedly not paying dancers minimum wage and overtime. Yes. That's them. They not paying minimum wage overtime. That says the Birmingham strip club is being sued again by 3 former dancers for allegedly not paying them minimum wage and overtime. The lawsuit filed Monday alleges that the Fernands denied minimum wages and overtime to the dancers in violations of the Fair Labor Standards Act. Now, see, Alabama don't play about this standard. I'm telling you now. I don't know where these folks is from the Fernandes club, dance club, or whatever like that. But if they done been sued one time, what make them think that? I'm telling you, they finna have a hard time. Anyway, it says, during their time being employed by defendants, plaintiffs were denied minimum wage payments and denied overtime as part of defendants' scheme to classify plaintiffs and other dancers, entertainers as independent contractors, the law contends. Okay, so what they were doing was they were saying, nah, we ain't paying y'all. Y'all independent contractors. Y'all work for your damn self, okay? Y'all don't work for us. We just letting y'all use the spot. We letting y'all use the spot. Y'all come in here, y'all dance, and then y'all get y'all tips and stuff. But when you get your tips, y'all got to give us half that too. Or about 10-20% of that too. What? No, dog. But that's the way it's been going. You can't do that. That's against the labor law, okay? First of all, if they working inside your establishment, they supposed to be on the clock. Rather, it's being paid by like $2.13 an hour is what some waitress and waiters earn. And plus they tips, okay? But the restaurant don't take their tips at the end of the night. Those waitress and waiters have to claim their tips on their taxes. And they get their taxes pulled out at that time. But you just can't be working nobody and say, hey, y'all come in here. I'll let y'all use my spot to dance. Then when you use my spot to dance, you got to give me some of your tips too. No. I'm bringing you... They bringing you all this business in there. These people, these men or whatever, females, all of them. They in there, they buying dinner, they buying lunch, they buying wings, they buying all kind of taco chips and all that stuff with cheese on it. They paying about $15-20 to get in the joint. They bringing you all this money because the people come to see them. They don't come to see the owner. They come to see the girls drop it like it's hot off them poles and do a split for a trick, okay? And then you going to tell them that they don't get paid by y'all, and then they got to give you half they tips or 20% of they tips and all that. So basically they come out of there stanky, funky, tired, sore, and then have about $30-40 in their pocket. What? We got to do better. But anyway, now some of them do come out of there with hundreds of dollars. Some of them come out of there with about $1,000 every night. But you know what? They got to claim that on their taxes. That's not nothing for the establishment to take from them. Okay? First of all, let's get that straight. That's called pimping when you do that. Okay? Then, if they working in your establishment, they should be on the clock just in case they get hurt. They should have some type of insurance, some type of something. But now that place is going to say, oh, y'all independent contractors. That's not how the state of Alabama work. I don't know how they work in other spots, but that ain't how the state of Alabama work. If you working inside somebody's establishment, that establishment must pay you. At least minimum wage. And then when that person get tips, that establishment don't snatch them people tips. The government snatch their tips when they file their taxes at the end of the year and say what they made. Point blank period. So then you'll see that this finance place is also accused of unlawfully taking the dancers' tips and demanding illegal kickbacks through house fees. So through house fees, meaning that if you do, we gonna automatically take your tips, okay? But then if you have to go and use one of our private dance rooms, you got to pay us for that too. What? Anyway, the Alabama.com left a message seeking comments from the finance place. The plaintiff seeks a jury trial and compensatory damages of at least $100,000. Compensatory. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read this shit sideways. I need to stop reading it sideways and start getting my chair and putting it right up in the front. But anyway, because I'm looking at the phone, but then I have the other phone recording. So then I have to look sideways around the other phone that's recording. And sometimes I'm reading sideways instead of just reading straight. I'm going to have to start doing it that way. But anyway, family, no excuses about that word kicking my ass just then. But I'm just saying, I'm reading sideways, okay? Now, my thing is, why are these people working these girls off the clock? You know, a lot of people are used to doing that, and a lot of people think that is how it go. It is some strip clubs that they take tips from the girls at night. It's some clubs like that, dance clubs, that do charge the girls to use private dance rooms and things like that. Don't know how the law is in other states. But I do know, like I tell people all the time, Alabama has one of the strictest states in the United States. Okay? They laws are strict. If you're going to do something, you're going to have to do it right. And if you don't, they're going to be on your bumper hard. And the thing is, if them girls are dancing in a club in the state of Alabama, they must be making at least minimum wage. When you go in there with they dance bags and they high heel clicks on, they have to clock in. They have to clock in. And they supposed to be making at least minimum wage. Now, when people make it rain on them and all that stuff like that, they collect their money and they supposed to be reporting that at the end of the year. It's up to them to keep up with that money. It's up for them to keep up with what they make. But that establishment pays them minimum wage. Then you got people coming inside of the door paying $15, $20, $30 admission fee to get in. That place is making money, regardless. And they also have to be paying those girls minimum wage, at least. And then at the end of the year, if so, that business will get a tax break or whatever from the government. But they can't make their own tax breaks and then just eliminate the state and the federal all together and not pay the girls and collect state and federal money. They can't do that. They can't act like, oh, we just a business and this how much we made, but they got about 15, 20 employees which are dancers. No, that's not how that works. You got to pay the cooks who cooking and all that stuff. But see, a lot of them like to do under the table dealings when you're dealing in this type of field. But the girls done told on them, point blank, whatever. But they doing the girls, they brown their broke booty clapping. Yes. They pimping the strippers. What? Gorilla pimping them. Yeah, and gorilla pimping the state of Alabama, because those girls supposed to be paying taxes. And the club's supposed to be paying taxes for the business and the taxes that they take out from the girls' paychecks. But if the girls are not getting the paychecks, then you cheating the state out of their money as well, because their state can't get their federal or state tax out of there. Just poor hustling. Poor hustling the dancers who bringing them in revenue. Ain't no way, family, I could be dropping off no pole, wig sliding to the side. I'm sweating, doing tricks with a full split. Sweating hard, putting in some work on that pole and that floor. And my feet are hurting from these 6-inch heels. And then twerking like it's going out of style. 3 songs straight, just twerking. Toes is hurting. And then the manager come and tell me I ain't getting no pay. What? Then tell me, matter of fact, give me some of them tips you just made. What? Oh, this club here gonna close down early until I get my check. And you ain't getting my tips. We gonna close this thing down real early tonight. Y'all come talking that to me. You ain't getting half my tips. You ain't getting 10% of my tips. You ain't getting none of that, because I know how the law works. I'm finna call Billy Bob and the crew. I'm finna call Jermaine and the crew. I'm finna call Shantae and the crew. And we finna get it popping. I'm not promoting violence, but what I am saying, don't have me sliding down no poles doing a full split. And then you say, I don't get no pay and you gonna take my pay. Oh no, Oh no, couldn't be me. You were gonna pay me. All that admission fee at you getting at the door, you collecting all that admission fee at the door, and then you gonna say you ain't gonna pay me? Well, let's go to the door and get my half out of that damn admission fee. Yeah, somebody gonna pay something. I'm not promoting violence, but what I am saying, stop gorilla pimping people on the clock. Or off the clock. Gorilla pimping them, but ain't paying them. I mean, just think about it, family. When you a waitress or a waiter, you get paid a certain amount an hour, and then you get your tips every day or every night or whatever. And then that waitress or that waiter, they claim they tips on their taxes. But you don't see that restaurant, after that server clocks out, give those people all they tip money or half they tip money. That's not how that go. I don't know where this club owner is from, but they gonna learn today not to play with Alabama and they money, because it ain't gonna turn out right. I can guarantee you that. No way. That's all I have to say about that. I want to give a special shout out to everyone who donated in the last video, family. Thank you. Thank you, thank you to Jerry K. Lipscomb. Thank you so much for your generous donation. Your generosity is greatly, greatly appreciated. Mildred Lightfoot, thank you so much for your generosity. Your donation is greatly, greatly appreciated. Kevin Clausen, Thank you so much for your generosity. Your donation is greatly, greatly appreciated. Love y'all. Sending loves and hugs. Appreciate y'all. Just thinking about a sister and giving a sister a donation for thank you for the time that you take with the Knowledge family. Thank you so much. And I know a lot of people, I just appreciate that. Everybody don't have it, but it's all love here at the Knowledge family, okay? As long as y'all here, y'all click, y'all view, y'all like, y'all subscribe. Oh, that fills my heart with joy within itself. So thank you so much to everyone who donate and everyone who tunes in to the Cafe of Knowledge. Sending loves and hugs. Gain knowledge to prevent blockage. And we all know what that means. The more you know, the harder it is for anybody to block y'all from your goals and success. Bye-bye.